has certain problems, and that the larger Unitarian Universalist religious community has certain problems. I just want to make it clear that when I say the Unitarian Church in Montreal has certain problems, I don't specifically mean sexual misconduct. I mean non-sexual stuff, which doesn't mean to say that there hasn't been any sexual misconduct. It's just that in terms of my own issues with the church, it's about non-sexual misconduct. It's about intolerance and bigotry and lies and slander and so on. But in terms of the larger community, there's no question, that my protest has for quite some time dealt with clergy sexual misconduct in addition to non-sexual misconduct. So in the bigger picture, Sue Montgomery is definitely complicit in the cover-up and denial of clergy sexual misconduct and cover-up thereof. She's complicit in the cover-up. Getting back to things, sorry, I lost track of exactly where we were going. Sue Montgomery hired a lawyer. I got a nice thumbs up there as well as the honk. Sue Montgomery, hired a lawyer, or judging by who the lawyer is, because the lawyer was Mark Banty of Gowling, Henderson, Lafleur. He's a well-known media lawyer. He's a lawyer who regularly represents the Gazette newspaper. For instance, when there's a publication ban, or he contests publication bans and so on behalf of the Gazette. What's going on here? Okay. I don't know why it's telling me I got... okay, whatever. The time is longer than I thought. Mark Banty was the lawyer who accused me of libeling Sue on her behalf. So the question is as well, did Sue Montgomery herself hire Mark Banty, or was it the Gazette as a newspaper that hired Mark Banty? But in either case, Sue Montgomery, through Mark Banty, was accusing me of libeling her for telling the truth about her. Like, everything I said about her has got loads of evidence supporting what I'm saying. There's nothing I said that I can't present evidence supporting what I said. And in fact, what's interesting is that the libel accusation was an effort to force me to take down videos that proved my point. The libel accusation was trying to get me to remove the evidence that I was telling the truth about Sue Montgomery. So it's like incredibly cynical. But the point being is that by doing these kinds of things, Sue is deeply implicated in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy sexual abuse, because I informed Sue Montgomery about the Unitarian Universalist Association's false blasphemous libel accusation against me in 2012. And I made it clear that, in her capacity as the Gazette's justice reporter, I expected her to report on this attempted misuse of Canada's blasphemy law in an effort to cover up and hide such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers, again, to quote from the letter the UUA had to be served with. And of course, Sue Montgomery refused. She totally point blank refused to report that story. She never reported that story. And on top of that, in light of the fact that the Gazette never reported the story either, even though when Sue refused, I went to the city desk and asked them to report it and so on. So I think I can reasonably conjecture Oh, did somebody steal one of my picket signs? Oh dear, looks like somebody did steal one of my picket signs. Well, look at that. Yes, there was a picket sign here and there isn't anymore. So it looks like some smart ass stole it. Yeah, the picket sign. Oh, that's hilarious, because the picket sign that was stolen said Unitarian Universalist censor and suppress critics. It was right here, and it's no longer there. And the sign that was stolen, most ironically, said Unitarian Universalist censor and suppress critics. So that's hilarious. What? Well, it just shows what idiots these people are, you know. It's like, here I am on my picket sign saying Unitarian Universalist censor and suppress critics, and what does a Unitarian Universalist do? A Unitarian Universalist steals the sign so people can't see that Unitarian Universalist censor and suppress critics. Hilarious. Now, because I have zero evidence of who actually did that, because it escaped my notice completely. I'm not going to waste my time, or the police's time for that matter, by calling in a theft report. If I knew who did it, if I'd seen the person take the sign and go into the church, well, at that point, I might actually call the police and say, hey, look, you know, somebody just stole my picket sign, and I'd like you to do something about it, although in most cases they don't. But I'd report the theft at least. But because I didn't see anyone, have no idea who did it, it might not even have been a member of the church. It could, in theory, be a member of the public. Unlikely, but it's far more likely to be a member of the church took it. In any case, I'm just gonna let that one go. I'm just going to make a new picket sign. I've been meaning to make new picket signs anyway. So say, a Unitarian Universalist stole, you know, a piece of plastic that'll cost me about $8 to replace, a bunch of photocopies and some tape. That'll cost me, you know, maybe $3 or $4. You know, all told, the picket signs are worth about somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks if you take into account the cost of the materials and the photocopies and the tape and so on. So for 10 bucks, I got a wonderful little example of Unitarian Universalists being outrageous hypocrites. I mean, there's nothing more ironic than stealing a picket sign that says Unitarian Universalists engage in, wait, the exact words, it was actually U*US, so short for Unitarian Universalists. You use censor and suppress critics. That was the exact words of the sign, to the best of my recollection. In order to censor and suppress that, the Unitarian Universalist most likely stole the sign. Well done. Congratulations. And again, it just underlines what I've been saying all along, is that these people, you know, they much prefer to do everything they can to hide the truth and distort the truth, and then deal with it. You know, let's have another look at this truth and reconciliation stuff here. You know, reconciliation will not be one grand finite act. There will be a multitude of small acts and gestures played out between individuals, and it will be ongoing until all the wounds are healed. I actually read this earlier before noticing that the sign had been stolen, and I spoke about all of the small acts and gestures that Unitarian Universalists have done that are the exact opposite of truth and reconciliation. Well, that's just one more. That's just one more small act and gesture that a Unitarian Universalist almost certainly, I mean, as I said, I did not see the theft take place. It happened, I guess, behind my back. I'm kind of hoping that maybe the video evidence will show who did it, because even if the video evidence doesn't, and that's one of the reasons why I run this camera, is to record bad behavior by Unitarians. That's one of the reasons, to protect myself from false accusations and so on. Even if the video doesn't show the actual theft, it may show a person approaching that area before, while the picket sign's there, and then show that it's not there after. So it'll be able to get a pretty good idea of who stole the picket sign. But anyway, let's see what the time is. Just want to check the time. Yeah, okay, we're coming up to the end of the reel here. So yeah, again, we'll just finish this off by reading the French version of the Truth and Reconciliation thing. Le chemin que nous parcourons revêt autant d'importance que la destination que nous cherchons à atteindre. Il n'y a pas de raccourci lorsqu'il s'agit de vérité et de réconciliation. Nous devons parcourir toute la distance. So the path that we are on has as much importance as its destination, and I messed it up. Sorry. Le chemin. The path that we are on has as much importance as the destination that we seek to reach. There are no shortcuts. When it comes to truth and reconciliation, we must go the whole distance. Well, somebody just went the whole distance by stealing my picket sign. So just one more small act and gesture on the part of Unitarian Universalists, as I said, almost certainly. I mean, it's a slight possibility that a non-Unitarian Universalist stole the picket sign, but the prime suspect is a Unitarian Universalist. And this is by no means the first time I've had picket signs stolen by Unitarian Universalists. I've actually been meaning to make a new set, and this just pushes me to make a whole brand new set of picket signs to replace the ones that have been stolen. So yeah, coming up to the end of a half-hour segment of video here. Probably going to cut this protest short today because I have other things to do. We'll see if I run another reel, but